Hey guys, this is Maxim here. Who do we have online? Hey, can you guys hear me? You Moto. Oh my god, I haven't seen you in a long time. What's going on? Oh, Bao, I thought you left me, man. Haven't seen you in like years. Author, Zariat. Hey guys, how are you? Manny Vang. Hey man. Joel. All right. So how's everyone doing? Good? You guys got your favorite drink? I have my drink with me, so. Hey, Chua. Hi, how are you? Pac Man. What time is it in Pakistan right now? It should be like sometime in the morning, right? Oh, all right. That's awesome. There's so many like, hey, Brian, brother Brian, what's up, man? Author, living the dream. Chua, thank you. I mean, I've been so lazy the last couple of days. That's why I didn't, I didn't do any update. All right, I'll go over Bitcoin a little bit, but just gonna say hi to everybody first. Hi, Jones. Hey, United Kingdom. What time is it there? Joel, waiting for the market to crash and buy more. All right, Twix, double black on rock, ready for this Monday. All right, I have like wine with me right now because I just finished dinner, but I'm gonna have something on the rock pretty soon. Sure, I'm a bit scared when the market pulls back. Hey, that's human nature, you know. But the key is when the market pulls back, that is when the time to buy. Never buy when the market is running up. Money Wang, Ethereum, yes, Ethereum is the king. I will go over Ethereum as well. All right. Yes. In a Christian, peace and blessing. Yes, gems. uh, Many familiar faces now. Christian warrior, I am buying now. Just kind of like hold on. Wait until I finish this before you buy, alright? Mellow. Doge going to 50 cents. Let's go. Yeah, those has been, man, crazy. Bitcoin sucks. Well, Bitcoin been doing okay. I Jones, what country you over from? Well, I'm here in Orange County, California, USA. Can I check Saitama, James? Well, in a little bit. Sure. You bought after the last pullback and it didn't move up. Which one did you buy? Doge? Joel Cody is worthless. I will sell and buy more. Okay. All right. It's worthless when it's not moving up, but once it's move up, it'd be okay. Cardano, no, don't worry about Cardano. Cardano is my number two holding, and I love it when it's not moving because I'm accumulating more. Cardano will move. I mean, trust me on that. All right. Newbies are panicking. Remember this here. If you buy good project, when it goes down, it will bounce back. Don't worry about that. But if you are like looking for like a swing trade, then you have to be able to look at the one that has some sort of like momentum. But if you are looking at like a long term, 2 or 3 years, just do your research and make sure that you pick good projects. Don't pick like garbage coins, because when you pitch like when you pick like meme coins that has no utility, that's when you will lose. Christian warrior, if I lose money, I just told my wife that you told me. Oh no, don't tell your wife that. She will kill me. All right, let me do this here. Let me quickly go over some of these coins that we've been following at VidMaxim. All right. The first one that I'm going to go over is Ethereum, because I haven't looked at that in a long time. And after that, I will go over Bitcoin, because I am a little bit concerned about Bitcoin. All right. But let's look at Ethereum first. All right. This is the chart for Ethereum. I mean, I got a lot of stuff. Let me just remove most of this here. All right, this stuff. The last video that I did about Ethereum was back on October something. Let me go back to my channel here so that I can get a pretty quick let's see, when was the last time that I did a video on Ethereum? A long time ago. Yes, very long time ago. Let's see here. Like almost a month ago. Let me do a search here. That was like on October the 23rd. I'm gonna turn the sound off here and kind of like skip through here. All right. Last time when I did an a TA on Ethereum, that when this video here, I mean, you guys can go back and watch that. There, Ethereum was building out this really nice bull flag, and my projection was that Ethereum would run up to 4,800. That was like back around October 23rd. Now, if we look at Ethereum, all right, let's see here. Look at Ethereum. All right, here it is. Last time when I was doing the update on Ethereum was October something, and that's when it was setting up this bull flag. Target should take it to about 4,800. About a few days ago, Ethereum ran all the way to about a little over 4,800, which is it hit the target that I had anticipated. And after it reached the target, now we're starting to see Ethereum starting to retrace right now. Okay. So if we look at Ethereum, it's been running up a lot. It hit 4,800 from about like 17,000. And the last time when Ethereum ran up a lot, which is like from here all the way to about 4,000, we see this pretty stiff retracement after that. And if we base on this Fibonacci retracement, we see a retracement of in between like 50 and 61.8%, which is right at this area here. That's when it dropped from about 4,000 all the way down to 2,600. So now Ethereum already make a second wave here. Ran up to my target of 4,800. It started retracing, and if you look at, let me zoom in. This is really the key here. After it ran up to 4,800, first thing is this. Let's remove this. Let's remove this as well. It's been very much trending up, following this upward channel. You see how precisely it is. It's following the channel. The minute it ran up and test the resistance, it get rejected. And then it retraced all the way down to the support of this upward channel. Bounced right back up. Then ran all the way up. Now it hit the resistance. It get rejected again. If we assume that Ethereum somehow would be following this sort of trend, which is it normally does. I mean, it's been very much following this upward channel, and the retracement from the first, let's just call it like the first wave here, is about in between 50 to 61.8%. So if we base on that, we are looking at a potential for Ethereum to retrace between like the 50 to 61.8. At 50 would be at around 3,800. And it makes sense. The reason being is this here. At 3,800, it would be right at the support of this upward channel. And if you see how this thing has been moving, very much like this. So what I expect is, first of all, the past few days, look at like Ethereum. When it's trending up, it's been very much trading above the 10 days moving average. Very strong. Look at the red line here is the 10 days. It's been trading over the 10 days. Every time when it tests the 10 days, bounce right back up, and trade it above, test it, bounce right back up. Here, the minute it dropped below, the next day it bounced right back up. So for the past like 6 weeks, it's been trading over the 10 days. And just the past 3 days, as you can see, it's starting to drop below the 10 days moving average right now. So that is not a good sign. This kind of like remind me of exactly what happened at this point. It's been trading over the 10 days. Then all of a sudden, a breakdown, drop below the 10 days. After that, we see this sort of like retracement. That is what I believe is happening to Ethereum right now. What's going to happen is, it's very likely that the minute it tests this 10 days, no, this is the white line, which is the 50 days moving average, it would bounce up. The key is when it bounces up and retest this red line, which is the 10 days moving average, if it gets rejected, then all of the probability, very high probability that it's going to retrace and then touch the support of this upward channel. So this is what I'm thinking. I am looking at Ethereum retracing to about the 3,800 level. Within the next couple of weeks or so. And if Bitcoin continue to stabilize and trend higher, then it may not happen. But the thing is here. One of the things is nothing goes up forever. We've seen this pattern here. It continue like that. And now I am seeing the sign that it is dropping below this 10 days moving average. So there's a very high probability that we will see something like this. And once it tests the 50 days, it will probably bounce up because Ethereum is very strong. then it's going to try to retest the 10-day, which is the red line. By the way, the white line is the 50 days. The red line is the 10 days. It's going to try to retest it. And if there's a rejection at this point, then we're going to see something like this before it bounces up again. So that is Ethereum. Now, remember, like Ethereum tends to go with Bitcoin. I mean, it follows Bitcoin really, really well. Bitcoin goes up, it goes up. Let me bring up this chart here so that we can do a comparison. This is Bitcoin, and let's bring Ethereum up. You see, it followed Bitcoin very well. And now that's why I am beginning to worry about this trend in Bitcoin. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. So before I look at Bitcoin, I mean, in summary, the way I see is here. There's a very high probability that that Ethereum would likely retrace and consolidate before it run up again. All of these signs are pointing to that high probability there. We may even see something like this. It tests the 50 days, and it may even run up like this before it retraces, but it will retrace. I mean, we've seen how this thing moved. Very much following this upward channel. Very precise. And on October, the last time I did a video about Ethereum, my target was at 4,800. Now, I mean, it meet my target. So I expect this sort of retracement. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. And one other thing is Bitcoin has proved me wrong few times already. The last few times I was right. I mean, when I predicted this crash and the flash crash, but I was thinking that when Bitcoin ran up to about 54,000, I would expect it to retrace, but it hasn't. But now, if we look at the chart for Bitcoin, it looked to me that Bitcoin is ready for some retracement. All right. I mean, let's just go through Bitcoin. So this is the daily chart of Bitcoin. What I want to do is I want to look at back around the May time frame. When you look at this chart, after Bitcoin broke out at the beginning of the year, it was trending up. You can see the way that the trend line is very stiff angle like this. And then this point, I mean, we connect this high point. You can see the trend line very stiff. Then all of a sudden, it's starting to shift direction. The trend line now getting shallower. Instead of going up like that, it gets shallower and then shallower. This is when it is telling us that, hey, it's about to run out of steam. It will need some sort of retracement. So every time when we see that, we see this retracement here. Now, look at what's happening right now. That's why, I mean, I've been looking at this thing. And after it dropped all the way down to about 30,000, we see this major spike up. And if we draw this trend line, you see how steep the angle is. Look at this, the high point. And now we're starting to see the shift in the angle right now. It's getting shallower right now. Another thing is the prior high that Bitcoin set at around like the middle of April was almost 65,000. Then during this run up, it ran past 65,000, established this new high at about 67, and then it got rejected, dropped below this, and then bounced up again, retested this prior high, got rejected. Now it dropped below the prior all-time high at almost 65,000. Here is the key. If we look at the past few days, here, let me zoom in so that we can see this. After Bitcoin retraced, ran up, crossed over the prior all-time high at 65,000, ran up, get rejected, retrace, and then try to retest the all-time high at 65,000 and get rejected. And another thing which is very critical is Bitcoin has been trending over this 10 days moving average. When it retraced here, it bounced up. Now we're starting to see for the past couple of days all of this like very long red candle, and Bitcoin right now is trending below this 10 days moving average. So if we look at all of that, and so far Bitcoin has been trending up following this upward channel. Support, bounce up, retrace, hit the support, bounce up, hit the resistance, get rejected, retrace, bounce up, hit the resistance, get rejected. So there's a very high probability that it will touch the support of this upward channel. All right, let's see if that's going to be the case or not. When Bitcoin started this reversal in price, it ran from this here less than 30,000 to about 52.5, then retraced to about 40,000. So if we look at this retracement, that is roughly about 50% retracement. 50% right here. From this point to this point. So let's assume that the 50% is the norm for Bitcoin. Then you're looking at a very high probability that this retracement would take it down to 50%. And if draw a line across this, this is where it hit the support of this upward channel here. That would be right at about 55,000. So this is what we are looking at here. The key again is very similar to Ethereum. Bitcoin is going to be testing this 50 days moving average. If there is a breakdown, if the 50-day cannot hold support, then I'm going to bet my money on Bitcoin is going to drop down and retest this here at 55,000 before we see it bounce up again. So that is how I see it. But at the same time, Bitcoin has proved me wrong before. I mean, it continued to trend up on very low value. But if I were to bet on this, I would bet on Bitcoin take this about 50% retracement before it bounces up again. So that is what I am looking at Bitcoin. And what we need to do is for the next few days, we have to observe Bitcoin. Bitcoin has to be able to reclaim this 10 days moving average. If it can trade over this red line here, which is around the 65,000 and stabilize over that, then we may not have to worry about this. But it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin has to go through this sort of retracement. I mean, it just cannot continue this sort of like ride up all the time. Let me look at the stochastic. The thing is, like, when you look at the stochastic, I mean, right now, Bitcoin is getting close to like the oversold. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's really hard for me to decide for Bitcoin. But based on the chart, based on what I've seen, there's a very high probability that we would see Bitcoin retest the support here. I mean, that's what the channel is all about. It's oscillate within the channel, meaning it go up and down like this. But the trend is up. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a channel. I mean, it touches twice here. So there's a very high probability that it's going to touch this here at some point. But Bitcoin is definitely trending upward. And if there ever a retracement like this, it just allows Bitcoin, I mean, to build more momentum and run up more. And if we look at this here, all right, let's go through this again. When Bitcoin run up from this point to this point, if we just base on this like Fibonacci extension, the extension is roughly about 1.6. Okay, so that's right, exactly 1.6. So let's assume 1.6 is the number that next time when Bitcoin go through this cycle and run up, we are looking at Bitcoin could potentially run up to about right here. This is 1.6, 85,000. So that's what it is. My prediction is Bitcoin would likely touch 55,000, then 85,000. It would follow this sort of pattern here. So, I mean, normally right now, if Bitcoin ever retrace like this, it's just a great time to load up on your favorite altcoin because altcoin would likely retrace as well. But then we're going to see this big bang. And that's why, based on, if I am right, I don't think that Bitcoin could hit 100,000 by the end of this year. It's not going to happen. All right, let's look at let's look at Cardano. All right. First of all, everybody get really frustrated at Cardano. Why? Because we look at almost every other coins. I mean, like AVAX, Polkadot, Solana, everything else is running up except ADA. So we get pretty upset at ADA. But one thing we have to remember is this here. if we look at the chart, and remember, the chart tell the whole story. ADA is still in this upward trend. And here is the thing. If we look at ADA, that's why I believe that ADA is going to run up very, very soon. Here is why. First, if you look at this chart, when ADA broke out of consolidation around the beginning of the year, ran all the way to $2.46. And then it went through this retracement and then consolidations for like 2 months before it broke out and then run up. All right. Again, if we base on this, the retracement from this point to this point, we're looking at exactly 61.8% retracement right here. From the time it established its all-time high, retrace, consolidate, drop down to this level here, 61.8% before spike up. And also one other thing to keep in mind is the minute it tested the support of this upward channel, that's when it bounced up and then it broke out. Then after that, Cardano ran all the way to $3.10. If we look at like how much it retraced so far, 61.8% exactly. And this year, it dropped to exactly 61.8% and it bounced. And so far, it hasn't dropped below that yet. Another thing, if we look at this, is Cardano has been trading sideways, but it has not tested the support of this upward channel yet. So there is a very high probability that we may see something like this before it bounces. Also, let's look at some other indicator. If you look at this right before Cardano bounced, right? It dropped below the 10 days. And then it's traded below the 10 days. I mean, this is almost like the shakeout period. And the minute it tested the support of this upward channel, it bounced. Next thing we see is it traded over the 10 days. And right after that, the 10-day crossed over the 50-day. Then we see this major spike up. And if we look at the setup right now, I think that is exactly what is going to happen. Cardano dropped below the 10-day, starting to trade below the 10 days. But at the same time, when we look at the 10 days, the 10-day is getting very close to the 50 days. So the minute Cardano started trending up, the 10-day would likely cross over and lead the 50 days. So that's why I think Cardano is very close to the bounce here as part of this upward channel bounce here. So, I mean, and Cardano is a great project. I mean, it's my number 2 holding, and I've been loading up on it because right now I'm in less than $2. People were buying it when it was at like $2.50, $2.60, or even like $3, and now it's like less than $2, and we worry about it. Why? This is the perfect time to accumulate Cardano right now. Well, one of the thing is, okay, this is Bitcoin. Cardano has not been following the trend of Bitcoin. and that's why everybody get frustrated. But also remember, like, wait, let's see here. Let's do Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin right now. This is Cardano. Remember around the May time frame when Bitcoin was pretty much trending like that, Cardano got this major spike up. And now Bitcoin has been trending up, but Cardano kind of like traded sideways. And one other thing is the longer it takes to consolidate, the minute it pop, it would pop pretty, I mean, it can spike up very high. We've seen that with Dogecoin before, and we've seen it with like Shiba. And I think I keep on saying that many times during all my video. The longer it takes to consolidate or trading sideways, the more momentum it build up. So the minute it break out, you see this major pop in price. So I mean, for me, I am I am accumulating Cardano. I mean, now below $2. Cardano is it's not like a garbage project. It's just like, hey, it ran up a lot. Now it just need to retrace. I mean, the trend is still up. I haven't done any like update on Cardano, but the minute I see the price starting to trade over the 10 days, I will do an update. So for me, let's not worry about Cardano. Sure, you're right, but you remember like everybody was frustrating at Cardano at this point too. It was sitting at around like a dollar, dollar and 90 cent, dollar and 10, back and forth, and then we saw it pop like that. Now, I mean, when you look at this, it's following this sort of like pattern. I expect Cardano to run to 350 and then momentum take it to 425. And it's going to happen. I mean, same things like if you look at Ethereum, I mean, I predicted 4,800. It ran up to 4,800 exactly. I mean, it hit my target and now it is retracing. So when you look at Ethereum, I mean, the pattern is very similar to Bitcoin. That's why I am a little bit concerned about Bitcoin. I mean, right now Bitcoin is down about over 3%. It's at 61 now, 61,000. Because if it does not go back and reclaim this 10-day moving average, then we're looking at retesting this 50 days here. I mean, at around 60,000. I do expect to see a bounce at 60,000. But the key is when it's retest the 10-day. If a rejection at this point, then we're looking at this before it bounces up again. All right. Um, let's see. I did last time I did the video. Who has Quant? I did an update video about Quant. I don't know, like a few days ago. But Quant is definitely on its way up. I mean, the on this uptrend here, because this candle pattern confirmed the reversal. After this big pop, it retraced, but then it never dropped below the low of this candle here. So definitely the trend is trending up. I mean, right now I am aggressively accumulating quant as well. This is a great project, and the 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 maximum tokens that in circulation. Let me see here. Let's look at quant. It has like maximum supply is 14.6 million. So I mean, this thing is going to become very rare. The 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 coins in circulations is even less than Bitcoin. And this guy at one time already ran up to like 429. I think my target for this guy as part of this like reversal in price, which is this here, these two candle. I mean, definitely, and indications that this guy is reversing. I mean, and he been retracing not because a bad project. It's just like he ran up so much. He ran from about 79 all the way to 429. So we expect this sort of retracement. Let's see here. The retracement is roughly 50%. It's very average. I mean, it's kind of like average retracement. So now he is going to start this reversal in price. And my target is at 650 for this guy here. So just have faith. Quant will be okay. I mean, look at the Bollinger Band. Formed really nicely. So tight. Pop. Overextended. Consolidate. Tight again. Pop. Overextended. Consolidate. Tight again. Now it's ready to pop. I haven't done like an update for Anchor in a long time, but Anchor is definitely on the move. Volume starting to pick up, and if you look at this here, I mean this pattern is definitely building up. This cup and handle here. This is the cup. This is the handle, and it's breaking out. Today, I mean, Anchor is down because Bitcoin is down, but I do expect it to bounce up. And this guy is going to retest its all-time high at about 22 cents very soon. Because one thing about Anchor is, I mean, we've seen Anchor pop like by like 50% at one time. See this? More than 50% from this point all the way up. I mean, we see this sort of like big spike. Huge spike. So Anchor is another good project. It's been quiet for a while, but now it is moving. All right, let's take a look at Dogecoin. I mean, one of the things is, Doge is extremely disappointing. I am not sure what is going on with Dogecoin. It seemed like, here's the thing. About, let's say here, right at this point, which is November the 8th, we see this big spike up. The reason being is of the upgrade. What is it, like 1.4, 0.5 or whatever it is? The upgrade that the major thing about the upgrade was to reduce the transaction fee. So we saw this like spike up. But the problem is, it seemed like Doge is really having a hard time holding any gain at all. And my rationale is this. one other thing about Dogecoin is we have a lot of like retail investors, and many retail investors are really frustrated and are frustrated at Doge because they see like Shiba spike up, they see everything else spike up, and they are not seeing those running up. So what happened is they get sick of that. So the minute when they see a big spike up, just like here, when they see this big spike up, many of them would dump it. And that's why every time when we see a spike up, then the next few days we see selling. Same thing like here, we see a spike up and then we see selling. There is no buying momentum at all. Before, back around the May time frame, when you see a spike up, when you see a spike up like this, you see the volume continue to pick up. That's when you see this sort of like run up in price. Now, so far, we haven't seen that. And the problem is, Doge has been able to ride this trend line. If you follow the video that I did like last week, I mean, all those videos, every time when it dropped below this trend line, it bounced up. And now the price seems to break down now. Today, right now, it's trading below the 50 days moving average. It has to be able to close over that. Otherwise, I mean, it closed below the 50 days, and then the next couple of days trade below that. Then those risk re-entering this symmetrical triangle that it's trying to break out for a long time. But volume, there's no volume. When you have no volume, you just like don't have that sort of like big spike up in price. And for the life of me, I do not understand why. I mean, what happened to all those like that? Nobody's buying or what? No buying momentum. No, seller is different. I will talk about seller. Seller is in consolidation. See, that's the problem. It's like with seller spike up from 2 cents. Remember, from 2 cents to 20 cents. It has to consolidate. I mean, it has to go through this retracement and consolidate. There's nothing absolutely wrong with seller. And the low volume is what I expect. When it see the difference between those and seller, look at seller. When the price spike up, volume pick up. That is a classic bull case, right? When the price retrace, volume slow down. What does it tell us? This is a normal retracement and consolidation process. When the price retrace, and if you were to see the sell volume like this, then you have to worry, meaning that people are dumping. This is not the case. This is very normal. And if you apply, I mean, people love to use this Fibonacci retracement. So far, seller only retraced by about 50%, which is very normal. There is absolutely nothing wrong with seller network. And seller, the same at Cardano, I've been accumulating because this thing will bounce. There's no doubt about it. And this guy will bounce the minute. See, right now he's still in consolidation. I mean, just trust me on this here. If you have like trading view, make sure you have the 10 days moving average and the 50 days. Whenever the 10 day is lagging behind the 50 day, you have this sort of like sideways, down, up, down, up, down, up, no spike up. But the minute you see the 10 day cross over the 50 days, that is a sign that you will likely have this run up in price. So right now, Stellar, the 10-day is still trading below the 50-day. You're still seeing this sort of sideways trading. It's still going through the normal consolidation process. Why? Because a lot of people, I mean, even I myself, I bought a whole bunch of Stellar at this point. And when it run up, I mean, I dump it. That's why we see this sort of like retracement. Nothing wrong with Stellar Network. Hey, Milin, how are you? So, and that was another reason why I haven't done any update for Stellar Network, because there's not much to say right now except that Stellar is still in consolidation. It will bounce. I mean, it may even test this prior high, then we would likely see it bounce. Let me show you an example. Uh, Harmony 1. Remember Harmony 1? Harmony 1 spike up, and then it retrace, spike up, and then you see this big retracement. If we look at the retracement for Harmony 1 here, it's actually retraced by 61.8% before it found bottom. After it found bottom, and then you can see it started running again. Right now, Harmony already ran up to my target price of 39, almost 40 cents. That's what it did here. So now Harmony is going through the consolidation, retracement, and consolidation process. If you look at like from this point until this run up, now so far Harmony is only retraced not even 50% yet. That's why, I mean, I got like email asking me what's wrong with Harmony 1. I said there's absolutely nothing wrong with Harmony 1. Nothing goes up forever. See, the thing is like it was building this really nice cup and handle. The target is 40 cents. It ran up to 40 cents. After it meet the target, it tend to retrace to build momentum. I mean, that's what it does right now. That allowed the Bollinger Band to contract. And then it's going to do this again. But it's not going like this. I mean, we expect it to go like this. It's not going to do that. So, I mean, this is a great project. And now, I mean, when it retraced to about 26 cents, I got like email asking me, oh, Harmony, it was like Harmony is a shitty project. It's not. It's a great project. We just cannot expect to see Harmony go on run to $1 overnight. It has to go through something like this because people do take profit. Many of us, we buy and we hold. But I myself, I buy, and the minute it hit my target, I take 50% off. And then I'm waiting for Harmony to retrace to my target. Then I will go all in again. I mean, that's what I do with my 50-50. So absolutely, there's nothing wrong with Harmony 1. NKN, all right, let's talk about NKN. NKN is definitely trending upward. No doubt about it. Right now, I mean, it's following. Prior to that, it was setting up this like new upward channel here. The reason NKN dropped a lot today, why? Because Bitcoin dropped. When Bitcoin dropped, everything else dropped. But I believe that by sometime tomorrow, we likely see that NKN would bounce up and would stay over this 10 days. I mean, the trend is definitely upward. There's nothing wrong with NKN. And if you look at like all of the major indicator, at this point here, NKN, I mean, this is the golden cross. And the 10-day continue to trend upward. All of the signs indicate to NKN continue to trend up. My target is $1.35. One thing about NKN is it could be down like 9% right now, but tomorrow you could see it up like 40%. Just like at this point here, I mean, it was trading at around like 47, spike all the way to 80 in one day. That was like 60 or 70% gain. And then at this point here, it was trading at like 57. It closed at 57 the next day. It spiked all the way to 82. It's like almost 45% gain. I mean, that's what NKN is. I do expect that sort of like spike up because look at the value. I mean, everything is pointing to NKN continue to trend upward. I haven't seen anything about NKN that would cause a worry or a concern. A drop today is pretty much a reaction to Bitcoin. But the minute Bitcoin stabilizes, NKN will bounce by like 20, 30, 40, or 50%. Bitcoin, Scott, Bitcoin sliding, you're talking about harmony and shitcoins. What is the shitcoins I'm talking about here? Are you referring to like NKN is a shitcoin? Or are you referring to what? I mean, are you referring to Cardano as a shitcoin? Or Harmony One or what? Or Seller Network is a shitcoin, Scott? What are you talking about shitcoin here? Which shitcoins are you referring to? I mean, I make it very clear that I do not like Bitcoin. To me, Bitcoin is worthless. The only reason that the value is really high, I mean, it's the leader right now because it's been around long enough. And it has the higher cap because it's been around long. But what does Bitcoin do? It doesn't do anything. I mean, it's so inefficient. And that's the problem. That's why Bitcoin is not moving up as it's used to. So Bitcoin, I mean, if you refer to Bitcoin as a shitcoin, yes, it is. But I do believe that eventually we will see that maybe Ethereum or some other crypto would eventually take over the lead of Bitcoin. I mean, I I said about that before, so okay. I mean, sorry, Scott, I misunderstand you. I mean, when I refer to shit coins, is coins that has like no utility. Um, no, no, I don't get mad though. I mean, see, the thing is, that's what's fun about like live streaming. Everybody. I mean, we all have our own opinion. You know what I mean? I respect your opinion at the same time. I feel like I'm free to express my personal point of view as well. And that's one thing about me is like, hey, that's what it is. Scott, you're exactly right, and that's why I think you probably like you join us late because I spent a lot of time go over Bitcoin earlier, and I mean actually here, I mean this I went over Bitcoin here. As you can see, all sort of like stuff here, because what I'm looking at is there's a very good probability that we may see Bitcoin at 55,000. That's what I'm talking about. So if you missed that, you may want to go back and watch the beginning. I went over Bitcoin in detail. And you're right. When Bitcoin dropped, everything else follow. And obviously, even if we don't like to, we have to watch Bitcoin. You're exactly right. But the thing is here, when Bitcoin retraces like this, it's not like Bitcoin is crashing. Remember, the trend is still up. Bitcoin retraced because after a major run, it has to retrace to build momentum for the next run up. I mean, we've seen that. It happened. That's why it follow like, that's why I love to refer to like this channel here. With a channel, you have like the support line here and you have the resistance. I mean, it's very much kind of like oscillate within this channel. The minute it dropped, bounce right back up, and then it's go and test the resistance, retrace. That's what it is. So this, it's not like what we've seen around May. May, that was a crash. Now we are still in this bull market. It just need to retrace and consolidate. And even if you look at like a very bullish project like Solana, and you know, I did so many video about Solana. I think even the last video I did about Solana, I predicted that Solana would retrace down to about, I forgot, but I was basing on this like Fibonacci retracement, 50% retracement. All right, so I expect Solana to retrace to about almost like the 190 level here. Retest the 50 days moving average before it bounces up again. Even on a hot project like this, it's been going up like crazy, but it has to retrace. I mean, we've seen that. And talk about the channel. I mean, let's just do this. Let's take this out. Let's draw this channel here. We've seen it's, let's say, connect this line with this line here and extend that. It's very much following this channel here. See here? Support, ride the support, bounce, test the resistance. Now it's going to retrace. That's what it is. Oh no, no, Scott, no, no. Don't worry about it, man. No, no, it's okay, man. You know, everybody have the right to express their opinion. I appreciate, you know, being a regular on my channel. Thank you. But that's what it is. So right now, I mean, you know, you look at Solana, it's going to retrace. There's nothing wrong with that. And when it retraces like this, I mean, this is a good time to accumulate. And that's why if you follow my channel, I never accumulate anything when it is on this way up. I always wait until it retraces, and the minute it hit the bottom and starting to reverse, that's the best time to buy. This is Solana here. Abhishek, yeah, I'm talking about Solana here. Yeah, Bitcoin is down about 4% right now. one of the things is that every time when you look at this chart, I mean, always keep your eyes out for this like 10 days and the 50 days. These are very critical indicator. And that's why, I mean, seriously, when I see YouTuber that do technical analysis and all they do is looking at the candle and the pattern without looking at these indicators, I mean, I don't know, because to me, these indicators are the most important thing. Because when you look at this, every time when it dropped below the 50 days, or even like Bitcoin right now, it's always been like hanging on, riding the 10 days. Yesterday, it closed below the 10 days. The minute when that happened, you do expect to see a lot more retracement. I mean, that's what it is. All right, let's see here. Can you please look at the graph? All right, let's take a look at graph. I just bought a whole bunch of graph. I love graph, and this thing been boring for a while. My target for graph is like $2.05 here. It's going through this. I mean, look like it's building this nice cup and handle here. And here's the key. Normally with this cup and handle, you want to make sure that the retracement when it's building the handle does not drop below 50%. So for graph here, we definitely do not want to see this thing retrace to this point. Anything below that could potentially invalidate this cup and handle. But so far, I think right at this dotted line, I mean, there's a very strong support here. Today, I mean, graph is just like NKN, like any other altcoins, because Bitcoin dropped, so graph definitely follow. But the minute Bitcoin stabilize, you're gonna see graph spike up like that. I do expect to see graph spike up and then reclaim this 10-day. And when you look at like the signal lines for the stochastic oscillator, I mean, it's entering this like oversold right now. So we do expect some sort of like bargain hunter jump in. There should be some buying relief at this point very soon. And another thing is, I mean, the trend is definitely upward. See that? So I like the graph because as crypto getting more and more popular, I mean, the graph is the Google of a blockchain. So a few billions. I don't have a few billions, Pac-Man. I just have a couple bucks. Um, all right. Let take a quick look at Shiba. I did a video for Shiba just like a few days ago. And one thing about Shiba, if you watch my video, I've been very accurate on my projection with Shiba. When Shiba spike up, and then I predicted that Shiba would retrace, and then Shiba would be trading sideways for a while, which is so far it is doing that. And I still do expect Shiba to trade sideways for at least another 4 to 6 weeks before we could see another run. Why? Again, I mean, I base on this very simple indicator, which is the Bollinger Band. The Bollinger Band is right now the width, even though when Shiba retrace and then consolidates, it's allowed the Bollinger Band to contract. I mean, it was way, way overextended at this point. It's starting to contract, but this is still, the width is still wide. I mean, when the width is wide, meaning that momentum is not there yet. Also, volume is low because it is in consolidation right now. Everything is normal. Another thing is, remember I said earlier, when you see like the price trading below the 10 days moving average, I mean, don't expect it to spike up. Expect it to continue to trade sideways. Once this thing trade over the 10 days and stabilize over that for at least few days, and then starting to trend up, then we would expect to see that run up in price. Right now, I mean, like it or not, I mean, I've looked at like other YouTubers' video and they keep on saying, oh, I mean, Shiba is like going to go up and over. I don't believe that because based on what I see here, Shiba is going to be boring for a while. Sorry to say that, but that's what it's going to happen. But there's nothing wrong with that. It ran up a lot. Now it needs to go through this process in order to build up this sort of, you see how tight this like this look at the width of this Bollinger Band. See how tight it is? That's when it popped, it's run up. I mean, there's no way this thing here. This thing is so wide. And that's why you may see one day it may, let's say some good news, you may see it spike up like that. But then it's gonna retrace. It's gonna go like this. That's it. Until this thing's starting to form like that. And then the price starting to ride the 10 days moving average. I mean, that's what it is. And if we look at even before Shiba like spike up, exactly the same thing. You see how the Bollinger Band formed really tight. The first time it spiked up, I mean, this kind of like give me a signal that it's ready. But the first time going to spike up like that, you tend to have like the nervous holder that gets so tired of the fact that Shiba was going nowhere. So they dump. This is what we call like the shakeout period. So the minute when the people who want to sell are pretty much done with, and all you have is like the people who want to buy, then that's when you see the price running up. And it is spiked because now all you have is people buying, they're bidding the price up. Very few sellers. That's why you see this sort of like spike up in price. But look at the width of the Bollinger Band. So that's like I said before. I mean, for people who does like technical analysis and not looking at these indicators, I mean, I don't know how they do it. Because if you look at like all of this without these sort of like indicators, just looking at the candles alone, I mean, it's definitely not accurate. So Shiba, there's nothing wrong with Shiba, guys. It's retracing. Why? Because after this big run up, once it's built enough momentum, when it's ready or when it finds the bottom, it will pop. So that is Shiba. Let's see which one I didn't go over. Polkadot. I love Polkadot because with Polkadot, I mean, if you buy through like Voyager, you get 12% interest. At the same time, I mean, this is a great project. And okay, we talk about like the channel concept. Look at Polkadot. How it followed this channel is incredible. I mean, I was drawing the channel here. And I think if you look at my video, I had this a long time ago. You see, every time when it go through and test the resistance, it drop, test the support, bounce, been riding the 10 days, test the resistance, retrace. The minute it dropped below the red line, which is the 10-day, and close below that, that's trouble. That's why right now we're seeing Polkadot is retesting the support of this upward channel right now, as well as the 50 days moving average. I mean, I do expect to see it bounce up. There should be support at this level here. I mean, we likely see Polkadot trade hugging the 50-day like this. But that's why the channel concept is very, very accurate. And if you look at that, it does follow that. Pac-Man, you're exactly right. I call Shiba shitcoin in the beginning. Why? Because in the beginning, it was a clone of Dogecoin. But after Shiba came out with like ship swap, I mean that changed my mind because they at least turned that into a what is it? That make it different. And then yeah, I changed my mind after that. Ali, yes, this is Polkadot here, and yeah, I mean Polkadot hit my target of 58, very close to that. Let's see, it ran up to about this point here. What is it? Let's see, right at this point, ran to 56.22. My target was like at 58. Yeah, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I mean this is like a little cup and handle. My target here is 58. Yeah, it ran to 58, and now it's retracing. Let's just see how much it retraced here. 50%, very much normal here, right at this point, 50%. And now it is testing the support of this upward channel as well as the 50 days moving average. When we look at Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin will probably, it may retest this 50 days before it bows. So, yeah, Polkadot has been running up. I mean, very nicely. You look at like, I mean, it just follow the channel. I expect to see it bounce up because like the closing of today's session is at 5 p.m. No, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. I would expect to see Polkadot bounce up and then likely hugging the support here of this upward channel, this line. This is a great project. I like it. I mean, the reason I like it because I love Cellular Network. Cellular is very tightly integrated with Polkadot. Um, Pac-Man. So YouTube actually serving like ad while you're watching? That is weird. No, I am not getting rich with this live stream. I mean, I try to go live like every Monday, but I definitely do not get rich doing these live streams. All right. Um, Last time when I was live stream, I talked about one of this coin here. It's called like Doge Dash, and since then, I mean, it's this thing has been running up like crazy. Um, so if you guys are swapping using Pancake Swap, take a look at this guy. It's I think it has really good potential. Definitely not one of those like garbage coin because it seems like the guy who founded this is very reputable. The whole idea is he created this kind of like game that you can play to earn, and he is following the just like what is like the Mario Brothers. It's really cool. I mean, and let's see here. The the cap is at let's see here, 100 billion coins. I got in. I think I got in like I don't know. I mean, few couple weeks ago or something like that. Right around at this point, I think it's just been going up like crazy though. The market cap is 136 million. The reason they've been running up because the game will be released next month, December. I mean, just in time before Christmas. So I think that's the anticipation, and um, the last couple of days. No, is that the last couple of days or just yeah, just yesterday and today, the price started to retrace. I thought it was gonna die, but it's really strong because it looked like it's ready to bounce right back up. So if you guys like this like new coins that very low market cap, take a look at this guy. Doge Dash has a lot of potential. I am sorry about the ad guys. Um, I don't. YouTube is serving like I thought like during live stream. I know they serve the ad like before you join. I don't realize that they serve ad while you're watching because that's not right. But anyway, guys, I mean, in summary, Bitcoin look like Bitcoin could potentially give up in this sort of retracement here, and when that happens, do expect mostly altcoins to uh, to follow. But I don't think that it's going to be like the May, June, July timeframe. We are still in this bull market. So the retracement is just part of this healthy, normal process. And Bitcoin would likely bounce up again. And when it does, the rest of the altcoin will follow. Yeah, those DAs you cannot buy through a normal exchange. You have to use like you have to use like either use a MetaMask or like a Trust wallet, and then swap it using Pancake Swap. It's a lot of work. because these are new projects. So most of the major exchange, they don't list these guys yet. But some of these guys could be really good, and some, I mean, could be like scam. So the most important thing is like if you buy like new coins, don't go and buy a lot. The key is this here. Let's say if you like a new coin. Okay, let's do this example. So let's say if you go to like coin market cap and all right. Let's look at some of this here, like gainers and loser. All right. Look at this, how crazy this is. Ethereum Meta in 24 hours, up 70,000%. Let's look at this guy. All right. See? I mean, all of a sudden you see this big spike. But here is the thing. It is a very high probability that this could be a scam. So to prevent being like a victim of a scam is this here. Let's say if you want to get into this, don't buy a whole bunch. Start with like $5 or $10. After you buy $10, right? Try to sell it. If you cannot sell, then there's a problem. Because what happened is there are certain these like scam projects. There's something called like slippage or something like that. I mean, I don't know if I say it right. You can put like 10%, 20%, 50% slippage, but you still cannot sell it. So for a project that they allow you to buy, but if you cannot sell it, and that is a problem. I mean, I spent a lot of time researching this thing, and it's very easy to say that I would say at least 40 or 50% of these projects are just scam. Especially when you look at the gain like this. They just pump it up and they let the retail investor jump in. The problem is when you buy, but you cannot sell. So be careful of that. Yeah, Arthur, it's rug pull. You're right. Yeah, Pac-Man. Next time when I go live, I will disable the app. But so I mean, that is the thing. When you deal with like these like new coins, you have to be very very careful. I mean, how can you justify like 70,000% uh, increase in 24 hours? It doesn't make any sense. And then the problem is like after you see something like this, then when you look at like the top loser, just like here, you see like 91% price drop in 24 hours. I mean, this guy. So they pump it and they dump it. So if you're not careful, you may end up with something like this here. I mean, oh, this thing is running up, jump in, cannot sell it. The next thing you see is like, that's it. But anyway, guys, sorry about the ad. I will make sure next time that there is no in-stream ad or something like that. I'll make sure I will disable that. I apologize for that. But I am going to call this the night, all right? So, I mean, good night, everyone. And I will see you next Monday. So it's very likely that we may see Bitcoin slow down a little bit. Um, but wow, Bitcoin is now almost like 5%. All right, guys. Good night.